This is going to be one of those videos where I end up annoying people. So last week the government announced that parks and trails, the woods basically, are closed to the public, and there's a $25,000 fine should you go in. Now I want to caveat this by saying I love being in the parks, I love being in the trails. Now I've got Moose, we really wanted to go to Long Lake and take him into the water and do all this fun stuff, which we now can't do, and it sucks. But I made a similar video like this in 2020 when they did the same thing during COVID, and a lot of people just came at me and went berserk. Now I appreciate if you're someone that had a camping trip planned, or you go fishing regularly, or you love the outdoors, and one of the reasons I love being in Nova Scotia is because no matter where you are in the city, you're really close to parks and nature, and I think it's amazing. And if you're one of those people that, like me, that enjoys that, the idea of not being able to access that seems crazy, seems insane. But I think where I have a problem, and it seems to just be the way everything is these days, is this hard divide between this, everyone's out to get us, the government. Someone literally said the government is trying to censor nature. I've never heard that expression in my life before. And I can understand people being fired up about not being able to go out and do this stuff. But I also, on my side of it, because I've got a little puppy that I want to take to the beach and I want to run through the trees with, and I want to play with outdoors. But I also have clients, friends and family that lost their home when we had that forest fire, and that wasn't that long ago. If you can see just here in this bottom corner how brown that grass is, like, I'm sitting in Fish Hatchery Park right now, which is not one of the parks that's closed, and it's brown, it's not green, and it's usually incredibly green here. And that's because we just haven't had rain, like we're literally in a drought. So I've actually never seen the Sackville River this calm or still before, which might sound crazy and dramatic, but I've got footage from where I've seen this thing incredibly high. After the rain came and we had the flooding, we lost like a good chunk of the frontage here because of how high it gets. This is the lowest and stillest I've ever seen it, which is, again, for me, a really good indication of just how much of a drought we're in right now. And when stuff gets this dry, it's very easy to start a fire. And I feel very much like that's what we're trying to stop, is what happened a few summers ago where we had a lot of houses get lost, hectares of damage be done. And even the firefighters and the volunteer firefighters that I know personally said if we didn't have the emergency water supplies, we wouldn't have put that out. I worried about making this video because it's not normally my kind of video. I don't usually like to talk about like political events or things that become political in nature, because I think everyone's got their own opinion, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. This one felt like there was an element of health and safety in it, and I do remember COVID, and when I talked about, we have to stay at parks, people came at me in the DMs or came at me in the comments, and I generally feel that as a community, if we all pull together, we can get through almost anything. And when people start fracturing off and like attacking each other, we're not solving anything. During COVID, I had to show a property, and the neighbor across the street came out and screamed at me and the clients, saying that we shouldn't be showing houses if he can't go fishing. And these people were moving here, they had no choice, they had to buy a house. And one of them was a nurse, like she was coming here and she was going to go and help in the hospitals, and it wasn't a good look, and it felt like, okay, I appreciate you're upset, but like we're doing the best we can with the situation we got. And when I saw those comments about, oh, they're censoring nature, it's really easy to throw out punchy, provocative lines like that. But the truth is, I think the government's probably in a heavy-handed way, admittedly, trying to make sure we don't end up in a situation where we have, we lose a subdivision, or we lose one of our parks because somebody does something that's irresponsible. And it does suck for the 90-95% of people that would never do something irresponsible in a park. But unfortunately, it's about making sure that we're safe in the long run, and that's what's happening here. I think what we need to do here is just get through a little bit of an unfortunate situation, and we'll be back to normal before we know it. So have a good week. enjoy as much of the great weather as you can, and let's all hope we get rain soon.